Welcome to the Notary Educators with Kimmi Podcast. Hosts Kimmi and Jeff Nunnally, along with Alexis Franklin, share expert insights to help you launch and grow a successful mobile notary business no matter what state you are commissioned in. Learn how to become a top-notch loan signing agent and get answers to common notary questions. Explore our all-inclusive $47 monthly training library, plus live weekly online coaching sessions with courses on general notary work, wedding efficient services, remote online notary, ink fingerprinting, apostille, translation services, and I-9 completion. Notary Educators, LLC is your one-stop shop for notary training. Tune in to the Notary Educators with Kimmi podcast and subscribe to the Notary Educators with Kimmi's YouTube channel also for more tips. Take your notary business to new heights.
Hey guys, welcome Notary Educators with Kimmi. How's it going? How is everyone doing? We'll give YouTube a few minutes to notify you that I am live in the flesh. What's going on? How is everyone? It has been a minute, but your girl is here. Number one Notary Educator. All 50 states, where you gotta have a good foundation. We teach you to do everything like a pro. You're gonna notarize like a pro. You're gonna price like a pro. We're gonna do our notary business like a pro. So what's up? What's up? Welcome. So I am here today to go over some different things you can do as a notary. A lot of people are still unsure. Hey, Ani. What's up? Hi, Ass. How are you? Yeah, a lot of people are still really unsure. What can I do with my notary stamp? Are you sure I can do all these different things, Kimmi? I'm here to tell you, yes, you can. Yes, you can. I have a whole list here of things that we're going to talk about, the things you can do with your notary stamp. And the thing about it is a lot of times people aren't doing these things because they don't know how to do it. They don't believe that it's possible. And, there's a lot of hype around the notary space. But the notary business has been around a very long time. Hey, Lori W., what's up? The notary space has been around a very long time. I mean, back in Bible times, 6,000 years. So it's nothing new. It's nothing new under the sun. Hey, Brianna, how are you? It's nothing new. The thing is you have to know what to do. That's the problem. Being a notary is not new. It's new to a lot of us. It may be new to you. How many of you knew about a notary unless you actually needed one? And you're not a notary already, and you just found out about this notary thing. We can wait a few minutes, but if you just found out about this notary thing within the last, let's say 5 years, and you've not needed a notary, put a 1 if you just kind of found out about it. Hey, Pamela, how are you? What's going on? Welcome. Yeah, if you just kind of found out about the notary space. Yeah, Brianna saying me. Yeah, I became a notary because of a notary. Yeah, a lot of times you find out about it from a friend. That's a good friend if they turn you on to being a notary. That's a good friend, because a lot of times people try to keep it a secret. And that's even how my YouTube channel. My channel started because people were trying to keep it a secret. I'm trying to find out, hey, how you become a notary? What you got to do? What's this loan signing thing all about? And everybody's kind of tight-lipped like, I know, but you're not going to know. They call that gatekeeping nowadays. We just called it being selfish back in the day. I know something that you don't know. Don't you hate people like that? Hate is a strong word, but don't you dislike when people are like that? I know something you don't know. Kids do that. So no, we're going to tell you what's up, straight up, no chaser, with a little sugar on it. That's what I always say. Ani says a lot of people don't know about mobile notary. Yeah, they still don't know. They still don't know. So it's not too late for you to get in the game. It is not too late for you to get in the game. And I use the word game very loosely, because it's not a game. It's a business. I don't treat my business like a game, okay? I don't treat my notary business like a hustle. I kind of take offense sometimes when people say, it's a side hustle. It's not a hustle. This is what I do for work. This is how we eat.
Hey Notary fam, it's Kimmi. I am here to let you know, just in case you have not heard about the Notary Business Coaching Success Program. We meet weekly. We talk about your notarial duties, how to do an acknowledgement, how to do a jurat, how to administer an oath, everything you've been asking for. And guess what else is included? Unlimited access to all of my trainings that will also include ink fingerprinting, trust/estate documents. Learn how to properly execute a trust. Don't forget, we also have the private community, like-minded notaries who have been trained by me. Check out my book that I've written for each state, How to Start Your Notary Business in Alabama, California. You get the point. Wherever you're located, there's a book for your state. Well, hopefully I'll see you soon over in training. Notary Educators, LLC. We got you covered. Bye.
All right, so let's get right into it. So some of the things you can do as a notary, of course, you have your basic run-of-the-mill duties. I have about 10 here. Hold on, I had one. I got actually more than 10, but I put 10 on the thumbnail for those coming back to watch it later. So a few things that you can do. Some of your actual duties would include acknowledgments, jurats, administering oaths, affirmations. Okay, if you don't know what any of those things are or you need some help, you probably need training. Please do not get out there and try to fake this thing till you make it, okay? You need to have the confidence, right? You need to have confidence that you're doing it correctly. You don't want to be relying on, well, I have notary insurance, so if I mess up, oh well. Or the companies, they know I'm new. They'll keep working with me. Not, okay? I always say, let's roll out the gate the way we want it to be, okay? Always roll out the way you want it to be. Don't start something you can't finish. They say don't write checks that you can't cash, okay? They actually say that a couple different ways, but we don't keep it like that, okay? So we already talked about a few of the actual duties, okay? Acknowledgments, jurats, administering oaths, affirmations. Certifying copies. Now, not all notaries can certify copies, but that is a huge part of what you will do, part of your notarial duties, is certifying copies, okay? Loan signings. And then these are all different ways that you can make money, okay? These are all different ways you can make money. So, loan signing, okay? Loan signings, mortgage documents. People will call you. Either the client will have their own documents, an attorney may hire you, a lender may hire you. So there's different ways that you can get this income that we're talking about, okay? Then you have the first part of what we talked about will be your general notary duties overall, but then there's something called specialty or general notary work. And that's where you learn how to actually do estate documents, trust documents, okay? So everybody says, well, a piece of paper is a piece of paper is a piece of paper. That's true, but it's not true. The value and what's on that paper is what's going to be different. Example, if I write you just an IOU on a piece of paper, what good is that? I just write the words IOU, right? However, if I have a will and it's valued at $1 million and everybody has signed that document, I take it to court, that piece of paper is worth how much? How much? If I have a will, it's worth $1 million. Everybody signed it. Everything is good. When I go to court or wherever I have to go, I'm expecting to be paid how much? Yes, Lori W. $1 million. So that's valuable, right? Thank you, Lori. Lori's in mentorship. I appreciate you, Lori. Right? But if I just write you an IOU, it ain't worth the hill of beans. So each piece of paper is not created equal. It's not. So I don't price them equally when I'm doing my general notary work. One piece of paper is going to have more value. That means you're going to pay me more. Okay? Lisa J, what's up? What's up? Okay? So some other things that you can do in your notary business, okay? Some other things you can do in your notary business are ink fingerprinting. Okay? Ink fingerprinting. And you can do live scan also. Now, I don't do live scan. For me and my business, it's not been, I don't think it's enough money there for me to do the investment. And most people that start out doing live scan or trying to do it, they always come back and say, I've not met one yet that said, wow, I'm so happy I invested $7,000 into live scan. I haven't seen one person yet. Now, that's my experience. You may know somebody else. But ink fingerprinting is not as large of an investment. Okay, so I would definitely add that to my list of services that I offer. Proctoring. Again, that's not something I get all day, but I do know how to do it. I know how to price it per hour. I advertise it usually around school time, or realtors may need to get something proctored. You're just sitting watching them take a test. Field inspections. That's my other jam I love. Inspections. It could be cars. It could be houses. It could be anything that needs to be inspected. Mystery shopping would also fall under that. That's actually another category. So we have more than 10 that I'm going to be listing with you. That's a different category. Is mystery shopping. I've done mystery shopping before, but I don't have a video on my channel. I haven't did it in the role of a notary. Okay. I will take one of those assignments. When I kept seeing them come up, I just actually did not have the availability. But I am going to take a mystery shopping job just so I can do a video on it here. I like to do real time. Okay. Have any of you did mystery shopping? Let me see a 1, because those orders for mystery shopping will come from field inspection companies. Have any of you received an order for mystery shopping? You didn't have to take it, but have you at least seen an order for it? Put a 1 if you have. If you've seen an order for it. And I know some of my people, if they're doing inspections, they probably have seen it. Anybody seen it yet for mystery shopping? Put a 1. And all that is mystery shopping. It's just what it says. You go to a store, you pretend like you're a client. They will typically give you either some money maybe to go buy something. Pamela says not yet. Yeah, mystery shopping is a thing too. Those typically pay around $25. But because I always counter, that's the saying no. I always counter. So I would probably try to at least get 50, you know. I would go for 40 depending on how far it is. Little jobs like that, I like to call them filler jobs. So if I'm already out doing a loan signing and I got to pop in somewhere and do a quick field inspection, why not? I'm already in the area. So you got to be really organized, okay? Really organized. Another service that you can offer is apostilles. Apostilles, apostilles, all those words that you may hear. You can offer that service. And what is an apostille for my new people? It's really just a document that's leaving the United States, going somewhere else that needs to be authenticated. Now, there's more than one way to process it. I'm not going to get into that today. I have many videos here on the channel. I also have a full-blown course about it, okay? So you can check that out. It is on sale, 60% off. Coupon code is WIN2025, WIN2025. Or you can also get it free as part of the mentorship. It's included in the mentorship. And I'll talk a little bit about that later. Thank you, Lori W. She always helped me out with that. Please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe, okay? And share too if you know somebody interested. I get a lot of referrals now. So funny. I'm like, how did you find me? People are like, my family recommended you. I'm like, that is so sweet. A lady was at a gas pump in Alabama recently, and someone referred her to Notary Educators in Alabama. And I was like, wow, because we do teach nationwide. So that really made me feel good. Another service that you can offer is Ani saying these people don't want to pay for apostilles. So how much are you charging, like, for one page? Do you mind sharing that, or an estimate? You don't have to give us your exact number. You don't have to give us your exact number, but what are you charging? Let me know. How much are you charging? I'm just curious. For your apostilles, how much? Because you cannot charge more, guys. You may want to charge more. You may say, well, my service is worth $300 for one page. And you may hear somebody else say, I'm charging $300 for one page. But if your market does not bear that, that means if the people in your area aren't willing to pay that, okay, you can't request that. You can request it, but you ain't gonna have no work. Okay, does that make sense? If McDonald's in my area are selling hamburgers for $1, let's just say they're selling them for $1, and then I go to the McDonald's in 2 streets up or 15 minutes away, and they're charging $3, that's not going to work. Is that for one page, Ani? $3.50? Is that for one page? Let me know if that's for one page, because that, Let me know before I say anything else. Is that for one page, $350? Because again, you may watch somebody on YouTube and they say, well, my first page was $300. In their area, they can request that. I cannot ask that in my area. That is not the going rate in my area. That is not. Tell me, is that for one page, Ani? We have to unpack this. Because I have to have you all understanding that just because you see something on YouTube and somebody else is doing it, it doesn't mean it's going to work in your area. And it will put a dip in your business. It's going to slow stuff down because you can't do what everybody else can do. Your market is different. And that's another reason why in the pricing book, which is an excellent book, excellent course, people love that book. They love my pricing book if you've not checked it out, because I do go over every single service and how to start pricing it. But I don't never give you a set price because someone in California may be able to ask $350 for one page. Terry J, how's a fingerprinting business in your neck of the woods? I don't do live scan, but I do ink. And I do maybe for a month. That's why I'm big on multiple services, like I'm going over with you today. Multiple services. I don't believe in just doing one thing because my phone don't ring all day for ink fingerprinting. But when it does, I know how to go get that $50, $60 or more, depending on how far I have to travel. Okay. So yes, I always say stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I can't tell you the number of times I'm in a group, somebody else's Facebook group, my group, and people are like, I really want to do such and such. I got this job, y'all, but I don't know how to do it. Can somebody show me how to do an ink fingerprint job right quick? No. Can somebody tell me how to do? That's one page, Ani. That's too much, honey. That's too much. I think you're in Jersey, right? Are you in New Jersey, Ani? Remind me. Yeah, $350 for one page is too much, mi amor. It's too much. They're not going to pay you that in New Jersey. They're not. For one page, tell me, you said it's one page. Remind me, are you in New Jersey? Remind me, because you might need some help with pricing your services, okay? Again, and if you don't want to take my course, you don't have to, but at least get the pricing book. Watch some of my pricing videos. And I know you've been with me for years, so you know I know how to price, and you should know how to price too. I don't know that you've actually taken an actual training course, but I know you've been with me for years, Ani. I know you learned from us, but I don't know the depth. I just can't remember. Okay. Yeah. So you can't charge that, babe. You can't. I can't charge that. I cannot charge $350 for one page in my area. I cannot. And I really don't think most of you listening to me can. I really don't. Now, you may have a few people, again, like I say, they're able to for their area, but that's not the going rate in Atlanta. It's not. It's not the going rate in New Jersey. Okay? So you got to bring that price down. I'm saying, Terry J, what's up? One page, I'm typically starting like around the one. Let's see. I've had several people that has paid my price. I've had a courier with a 2-day turnaround. And see, that's different, Ani. I'm going to come back to your question, Terry J. Yeah, Ani, that's a little bit different. If you have someone wanting express service, express courier, yes. And you may get one or two people that pay that price, okay? So let's be clear. Let's be clear. You may get one or two, but if everybody's telling you that's too high, you have to look at that. You have to. That's data. You have to look at the data. If everybody's saying, you know what, that's too high, too high, too high. Now, if one or two says it's too high, like yesterday, literally every person I talked to, every person, these were Angela clients, the one that used to train with us, our old trainer, Angela. She gave me some clients yesterday, actually like 3. Every single one of them said it was too high, literally. And what was so funny, you guys know I tend to be on the lower price side with everything I do. Oh, Ani's in Florida. Yeah, $350 for one page. Again, if they need express and they're willing to pay it, I still think $350 for one page is a little steep. But again, if they're willing to pay it normally and you got one or two, like a one-off, I call it, and they're like, nah, that's too much, I ain't paying that, then that's their problem. But if every single person, 10 out of 10 are saying it's too much, or 9 out of 10 are saying it's too much, I'm going to rethink that. I'm going to rethink it. I'm going to rethink it. Let me change this. I'll change it in a minute. Yeah, so that's all I'm saying. Okay, let me get Terry J's question. What's up, Terry J? What company is good as far as paying and scheduling services online? For your clients to schedule with you, is that the question? I like Calendly. Not Calendly. I do like Calendly though. Acuity. I think it's Acuity. I love Acuity. I love Acuity. Now, I don't let people just schedule themselves on my notary business, in my notary business, on my notary page. I don't. I have to talk to you. When I first started, I did that once or twice, and I was like, wait a minute, I got a 4 o'clock where? So I like to know where I'm going. I'm old-fashioned. I want to talk to you. I need to know where I'm going. If you don't have time to talk to me about what you need, I'm probably not your notary. I'm not. Because you're not just going to book yourself on my calendar and think that I'm just going to show up somewhere and I don't know what documents you have. I don't know if you want to pay me. I don't know if you have ID. I have to screen you. I have to. And that's the way I've been doing it. Not that I'm not open to change, but right now, I'm not just letting people schedule themselves on my website. I have to talk to you. I have to. And I had a guy one day, he was like, can you just text me the price? Nope. Because I got to talk to you. I need to know, what do you need? Screening questions. The who, what, when, where, why. How many documents you have? Do you have ID? Do you have witnesses? Are we going to a hospital? Are we going to a nursing home? Are we going to a jail? I need to know those things, you know? And you can fill out questionnaires and get people to try to fill out all that. You can do that. You can definitely try that. That's a good way to try to get your people to answer your questions, is a questionnaire. But in my case, what I find work best for me, because I know how to ask my screening questions at this point, I've been doing it long enough, I'm asking you those questions, and then we're going to make the appointment. Yeah. That's what I'm doing. So, but I like Acuity, and I like Calendly, and I like Square appointments. I think my favorite is Square. Let me take that back. Martha Morgan says she's in Georgia. What's up, Peach? Terry J says yes. Ani, okay. Terry, to pay online. Yeah, I like Square. Square's my favorite. Lori W in mentorship, shout out, says, I'm learning about field inspections in my area. They average about $8 to $20 for jobs up to 75 or more. It's absolutely ridiculous. Other states are hot, but Illinois is not. I like the rap. So Lori, and that may be the point. So I'm gonna tell you what I tell other people too. In my area, and that's why people always say, what are you doing? You can't really worry about what I'm doing in Georgia, because what I'm doing in Georgia is going to be different in California. It's going to be different in Illinois. It's going to be different in Florida. It really is. I can give you an overall what I'm doing, but you got to know what's going on in your area. So in Lori's area, like she's saying, field inspection for her is paying too low. Are you counter offering these offers, Lori? I'm just curious. Are you counter offering? And if you're not counter offering, now I'm going to push back and say for you to start really focusing on apostilles. I don't care what state you are in. You can kill the game in apostilles. You have to know what you're doing, though. You have to know what you're doing. But apostilles is possible for everyone, every state. There's no restriction on that. Now, once they find out that we know what we're doing, they may try to do something about it, okay? So let's go on. So I had inspections, apostille, translation services. You should be offering translation services in your business. Now, there are several ways to offer translation services. I actually have several videos here on the channel. I actually have a course about it that teaches you how to do it, because there's multiple ways. I'm going to give you the ways right now. I'm not going to go into the processes, but I'm going to tell you what it looks like. So one way is you could actually be the translator. Now, sometimes you have to be ATA certified. That means you've taken a translation test and you are recognized nationwide to do translation. So that's one way. The second way, which is my most favorite way to do it, is, and sometimes you don't have to be ATA certified. It depends on how your client is using the document. That's why I got to talk to you. I really encourage you to talk to your clients, because you have to talk to them. Why are you using this document? What purpose is it for? Where is it going? Who needs it? Who's requesting it? Because all those kind of things will help you to see how you can process it, how you can best help your client, okay? Because sometimes I've had clients where they just need it translated by anybody that speaks that language, okay? That's one thing. So I could speak a little something, right? Spanish. I could do the translation. Or it might need to be by somebody ATA certified. Now I got to go find that person to do the translation. I can still facilitate it. So either way, your girl about to get paid on the translation. And you don't have to speak all these languages. Now there's a third way that's coming out. And that's referring it. You just refer it to a company. They pay you a little fee for referring it. But I want all the money. So I got to think about that one. I'm still processing that. If I refer it to this company, are they going to give me a fee plus I could charge my client? I need to do more research on that. So far, how I do my translations, though, either I'm the one doing a translation, I have a friend doing a translation, or I'm using a translation company. I'm the go-between, and that's how I get paid. Okay. Weddings, wedding officiant. There are a few states, for example, in Florida. That's why each state is so different, guys. Florida can perform weddings without anything extra. Well, in my state, I could do a wedding, but I have to have some more certifications to go with it, right? I do have a wedding officiant book and course, FYI, all included in mentorship. So everything is really based on where you live, okay? But this is another stream of income for you, wedding officiant, okay? Depending on what state you are in, you can just do it straight up as a notary, or you have to become ordained, all right? So that's two different ways you can do that too. And once you start doing wedding officiant, then that means you can add additional services. You might add photography. You might add actual wedding planning. You may add catering. That one thing could turn into 15 different things. You ask your girl, I can help you. All right, then we have remote online notary is another option. And again, that's not an option for me in my state because it's illegal. Right now, it's against the law to do remote online notary. But in Florida, you can do it. Most states you can, actually. Still a few that you cannot. California is a no-go right now. There's several that you can. So I actually have a course on that. But it's not a deep course on RON, but it's a good course. Sorry about that. Next thing is loan signing. I think we already talked about that one too. Loan signing. But doing the mortgage document. So you don't have to have special certification, but I'm going to say that you do if you want to work with everybody. If you're not interested in working with signing companies, you don't need a certification from the NNA. But if you're interested any kind of way in working with signing companies, they are going to require that. They're going to require the NNA testing, and they're going to require the NNA background check. So for those of you who are thinking, I'm not going to do the NNA, because I'm getting a lot of pushback on the NNA these days. I really am. And I think it's because they're hearing other people say, well, you don't need the NNA. You really don't need the NNA. You don't need the NNA. You don't need the NNA. And technically you don't, okay? Technically you don't. But I'm going to say you do because I do everything through the NNA. I get my insurance through the NNA. I am background as signing agent certified through the NNA. I'm actually an NNA ambassador. So that's not why I'm telling you to get certified through them. I'm telling you to get certified through them because I don't want you to cut off a whole stream of income. Okay? You will cut off a whole stream of income if you decide, I'm not going to work. I'm not going to do the NNA. I'm not going to do it. I'm in protest. No. Go ahead and be able to get your money. Okay? It's only like $100. Now, depending on what state you're into, because my state is only $100. Some states it costs a little bit more to go through the NNA. But it's all a tax write-off. And if you want to be able to work with everybody, you got to be able to play the game. And if the players are telling you got to go through the NNA and you want to play ball, that's what you got to do. Okay? That's what you got to do. It's not optional. So what other questions do we have? Ooh, we got a lot. Hold on. Oh, I didn't realize we had so many questions. Okay, let me get these questions. So what about a one-page website? Terry, so you can do a one-page website, but I'm gonna really recommend you have pages. Each service should have its own page. Like I use GoDaddy, so each one has Notary Educators, not Notary Educators, non-veteran notary. I got two businesses. But my notary business, sorry, I got something on my tooth. My notary business, each one has its own page, so it's able to be indexed and all that. I'm actually working with somebody right now on Fiverr to maximize my websites. I'll let y'all know how that goes. I just paid him today. It hurt, but he had 5 stars. He looks like he knows what he's doing, and I'm just going to see. He claims my page is not maximized. I know it's not because I built it. I'm not a coder or any of that. But it's been working. I've had that website for about 3 years now. So one page, if that's all you can do right now, is fine. I'm going to tell you to have each service with a different page, though. Okay. Ani says, people drive me crazy how much 2 sheets of paper to be notarized. Well, Ani, that's what we do as notaries. People say that about us. I had somebody call me the other day. She was like, I'm a notary. I forgot what state it was. And I gave her my price. And she was like, you guys are making a killing down here, huh? And then she texted me back. She was like, how much is the notary stamp in Georgia? I said, it's $2. I said, but I don't even charge the $2. So she trying to figure out, well, how you charging so much? I make my money on the travel. If you don't want to pay it, you can go somewhere else. Now, that's just facts. Yep. You could get with this or you can get with that. Okay? It's no way around that, because I'm not going to get in my car, pull it out my driveway, my truck, and come and stamp a paper for you for $2. That's just not going to happen. It's just not. So I may not be your notary. That's okay. I may not be your apostille agent. It's all good. We're going to be friends at the end of the day. All right. Martha says, I got my commission and I just got your book, Start Your Notary Business in Georgia. Excited. Yay. So that's going to really help you, Martha. So you'll see exactly what you can do in the state of Georgia. If you guys don't know about the book that she's referring to, it's called Start Your Notary Business in the state of Georgia. There's one for all 50 states. Start Your Business in California, Alabama, Louisiana, wherever you are, there's a book for you. So check it out at notaryeducatorsllc.com under notary books. And there's also a 15 collection of notary journals that's out, guys. The red is now out. It's on fire. There's a red journal now. So check out the notary collection. Absolutely beautiful. The people are saying it. The reviews are starting to come in. If you bought a journal, please go back and leave a review for me on Amazon. If you bought a book, please leave a 5-star review. Now, we ain't leaving nothing else but 5 stars. All right. But the journals are really doing well. People are really loving the selection. And not only the selection of the journals, but they come in paperback and hardback. And the other thing about the journals that I love is that there's a space for the name of your signing company. There's a space in there for how much you charge to travel. What is your actual stamp fee? How many stamps did you actually have? Okay, so go back and check that out. You're going to love it. Ani says, Florida wants you to be certified for field inspections. It depends on what kind of field inspections you're talking about, Ani. I go over that in the course too. And then it's free information here on the channel, but I'll discuss that with you. So there's different types of field inspections. There are some where you have to be certified to go out. And I talk about that in the course, like I just mentioned. You have to be a certified field inspection to go do like for mortgages. But sometimes just to go out, I was hired as a field inspector to go out and take a picture of a company just to make sure that some work had been done. You don't have to be certified for that. So you need to find out what type of field inspection that they're doing. And sometimes, again, you just got to know the game. You just got to know the game. So the field inspection where you have to be certified, that is not what I'm talking about. Very good. Terry says, Texas is not a state to do any kind of translation. Why are you saying that, Terry J? What does that mean? What does that mean? You can't do any type of translation. Translations are happening every day, every state. Can you explain that for me, please? KA Consultant says you want all the money. Yeah. All that I can get legally. Why not? Right? Right? Uh-oh, hold on one second. Hold on one second. We got to remove somebody. Okay, Terry J says, exactly. Okay, LLL, yes, ma'am, Ani. Ani, you so funny. All right, so what else do we have going on? What other questions do we have? We got quite a few people that are just joining us. I think I've gone over most of the ways that you can make money. We'll do it one more time really quick. Loan signing, fingerprinting, proctoring, inspections, apostille, translation, wedding officiant, remote online notary, loan signing, and one more. I got one more bonus for you. Please like and subscribe, as Lori is suggesting. Please, we got 18 people here, 4 likes. Let's do it. Just hit the like button. Come on now. Last thing I got for you is serving as a courier. And I have been hired sometimes just to print the documents. S is in NYC. Yeah, I've been hired to just print the documents and take them somewhere. That's not an everyday job, but it does happen. Or sometimes you can actually offer courier services. I don't have a full page on my website about courier service. I've been thinking about adding that though. And you could also be a courier for notaries to just do apostilles. Yep. So S says I want to do apostille courier for notaries in other states. And you can. So I would recommend, and this is the thing about it, because sometimes people don't want to learn the actual apostille part. They just want to be a courier. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can do that. But my thing is, I'm going to do everything I can get all the money. Okay? So I want to be a courier. I want to be the apostille facilitator, the apostille agent. I want to do it all. Okay? So check out my apostille course again. It is 60% off. It's not as hard as you think, guys. It's really not that complicated. You will do apostilles like a pro. Now, some of them are trickier than others. No doubt about it. People don't pay you, like Ani saying, $350 and you don't know what you're doing. Okay? Or it's not a little bit more involved than what you may think. They don't just cut checks because you look good. Okay? I'm a Jack says, in Ohio, I think you cannot translate or draft documents as that's considered practicing. Again, it depends on what you're actually doing. So when I talk about translating of a document, I have to see where it falls in my parameters and what I feel comfortable with. So I'm not drafting anything. I'm not saying draft documents. And when I talk about you serving as a translator, the middleman, you're not actually translating. Remember, I talked about several ways. I'm a Jack. So we got to make sure we're listening, okay? No disrespect, but I'm saying, I just mentioned there are several ways you can serve as a translator. Some people are ATA certified. They can translate per the law. Can they notarize and serve on that same document? Maybe not, but they can serve as a translator. If I'm the translator, I'm putting my translator hat on, right? I'm not a notary right now. Check it out. Dropping gems. I'm putting my translator hat on. I'm going to translate the document. There's an affidavit saying that I was a translator. My husband is the notary. He's going to be the notary. I'm serving as a translator right now. I'm not serving as a notary. So it depends on what role you're serving in, okay? So we have to be clear. That's why I said you got to know how to play the game. Okay? And again, if you don't know a language, I'm not telling you to translate. And I'm not translating everything. It depends on what my comfort level is. When I worked at the hospital, I was a certified translator at my hospital. I was a certified translator, but I could only translate. I took a test and everything. So I'm a translator, okay? Legally. So I took for that hospital, but I could only serve in that role as a translator. So if I was doing registration, I could translate. If I was doing insurance verification, I could translate. But I could not legally translate for the doctor because that had to be a certified translator at a higher level. So there's different levels to everything. And you just got to know how to play the game. Okay? And if I decide I'm not translating that, I'm going to hire a company to do it. I'm still not doing a translation. I'm literally getting the document from the client, sending it to the translation company. They give it back to me. I give it to the client. Boom. I make my money. So you got to know what to do. Okay? So I'm not being disrespectful, but I'm just saying you got it. Knowledge is power. And a lot of times we're like, oh no. Let me go back. So you got to know knowledge is power. Okay. S says she want to do it all. Terry J says, for me, it's just not worth the risk. Just me. Cool. And some things, again, if it's not worth it for you, I'm not telling you to do it. And you know, some things is comfort level, some things is knowledge, confidence level. Once you actually know what you're doing, you start becoming familiar with documents. And my whole life I've been working with documents, so I'm very familiar with handling paper. My sister went on a notary job with me twice, and she was my witness. One time she just went because we was doing a job and we was getting ready to go eat lunch. But another time we went and we were actually, she was my witness. She was like, there is no way on this earth I'm sitting there playing with them papers like that. Because I got to look at the papers. I got to make sure what's in the documents just a little bit. Okay, just a little bit. It's not my role to know what's in their paper, on their document. And I'm shuffling papers and I'm looking through it. And that's my jam, right? I love it. I thrive on that. But that's not her thing. That's just not. So I'm very familiar. I used to work at the bank. Mortgage documents I'm not afraid of. You know, everybody's different. And I find people that didn't have any banking background, don't have any background, period. They still can learn these documents and learn what to do. They become excellent loan signing agents, excellent apostille agents. It's all about what you want to put into it. So you could easily say, well, that's above my pay grade. I don't want to do it. But I don't roll like that. If it's something I really want to learn, your girl gonna learn it, you know? So that's enough of that. Okay, let's keep going. So S is like, oh, that's smart. You see what I mean? Knowledge is power. That's why I should have more than 7 thumbs up over here. Come on now. Hit the like button. Okay, here we go. So Amma Jack says, I mean translating for customers. If so, that's a different job altogether. Right. So that's what I'm saying. You got to know what you're doing. You have to know what you're doing. What role are you playing? Am I playing a translator right now? It's just like an actor. You can have an actor, and Viola Davis, sometimes she plays a teacher. Her next job, she may be playing a mother. Her next job, she might be playing, I haven't seen her play a grandmother role yet, but she might be playing a grandmother. What role are you playing? That's what you got to put on and realize what's up. So one day I might have my translator hat on. I'm not notarizing that document. Okay. Another day I might have my notary hat on. I'm getting somebody else to translate it. Okay. So basically we cannot translate and notarize in Ohio. Okay. If you cannot do it, you cannot. You cannot. Do you speak 2 languages, Amma Jack? Do you speak 2 languages? And again, what I'm saying is, and maybe by this point, this has caught up with what your comment is. As I have stated, I'm not wearing 2 hats at this point. I'm translating, and my husband will serve as the notary, or my friend will serve as the notary. So I can get somebody else to notarize the translation affidavit who did the translation, okay? And all of this is depending on who is requesting the document, because there's sometimes it's pretty clear I cannot translate it because I'm not ATA certified, okay? I'm not ATA certified. Let me say what ATA, I forgot. American Translation, is it Academy Association ATA certified? Oh, here we go. Let me tell you right quick. See, an ATA translator is different than me. I'm not an ATA. American Translators Association. So that's the head honcho right there, okay? American Translators Association. So that's why I was saying earlier, it depends on what the requesting person wants. I'm not ATA certified, but if the client isn't even needing it to be ATA certified, and this is based on where it's going, and you're not going to ask your client, do you need ATA certification? No. You're going to know based on my training and what are they using the documents for. So you got to ask them. You have to ask your client, what are you using the documents for? And that'll let you know too, if they're doing something with immigration, I never translate that. Nope. No can do. Nope. Because I don't want their documents to get stuck. I always get an ATA translator. So it's more to it than just, there's always more to it than what you see. Ani says, okay, I'll look into it. I've taken some pictures of houses, exterior and interior, and the whole property. Booyah, Ani. Guess what? That makes you a field inspector. Okay? You're just not a certified field inspector. Okay? No certification is needed. There's no certification needed. Terry J say Texas is just really brutal on a lot of that. Yeah, that's why you have to know what you can do and what you cannot do. Everything doesn't apply to everybody. You have to know what you can do. Knowledge, I'll go back again. Knowledge is power. And then once you know what to do, start implementing, start doing it. You know, you may not be able to do every single thing I just mentioned. You may not be. But a lot of you are not doing it, not because you can't do it. You're doing it because you don't know how to do it. And there's a difference. You can't just say, well, I can't do field inspection. Here, who's that, Ani? Ani just told me I can't do field inspection. She just told me that. I can't be a field inspector. But she's doing field inspection. You see what I'm saying? So, and we may not be expressing it right. I get that. Because, you know, it happens with your girl, too. So she's saying, okay, I'll look into it. I've taken pictures of house, exterior, interior, and whole property. That's field inspection. Now, are you certified to be a field inspector on a different level? No. But can you do some field inspections without certification? Yes. Okay. Ani says, Miss Kimmi, I have had a customer call me from Minnesota and Wisconsin for courier service. Yeah. That's why I put it on my list here. You can be a courier. You can be a courier. Excuse me, I was kind of thirsty. So I offer courier services. Let me tell you another way to offer courier services. It's not just somebody straight up call you and say, hey, can you take this package from point A to point B? You could offer courier service to some of your loan signing clients. Now, not the ones that are coming from signing company, but your general notary client. I've had this happen 1,000 times. Your general client will call you, general notary client, say, I got a loan package. I'm selling my property. Can you come notarize my documents? I go notarize the documents, and they also are like, dog, I'm working till 5. I got to get this to FedEx. Oh, I do offer courier service. May I offer to take that to FedEx for you? And you throw on a few more dollars, or you do it for free. Totally up to you. So sometimes we got to be listening actively to our clients. They will tell you what they need. You went over there for one thing, and by the time you get finished, now you're their courier. Okay? So that's why we got to know the business. And as Ani's already letting you know, she's gotten clients that call from Minnesota. She's in Florida. She's already told us. From Minnesota and Wisconsin needing courier service. Okay? So they're calling notaries for everything nowadays. It's not just stamping no paper. Now that's my jam now. Don't get it twisted. But it's not just snapping a paper, as I've already shared so many different things with you, okay? J Rose 8425. And thank you for sharing, Ani. I appreciate it. Unfortunately, our Secretary of State is located 2 hours away from me. So no apostille services for me. Wrong answer, J Rose 8425. I talk about this in my apostille course. I'm going to talk about it with you right now. And I talk about it on my channel under apostilles. Check out the videos, okay? You can still facilitate it even though you don't live near the Secretary of State. You can still facilitate it. What does that look like? Either you will mail the documents to the Secretary of State, or you will network with another notary that lives near the Secretary of State if they need same day or 2-day service, okay? And 2 hours away, if they're paying me enough money, your girl might drive that. Yep. I might drive it. The right amount of money, you talk about $400, $500, I might drive that. Is that worth it to you? 4 hours? 1 day? Let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if $500 round trip for 2 hours is worth it for you for a couple documents. Let me know. Just driving. 1, yes. 0, I ain't doing it. I don't care how much they pay me. 1 or 2. And see, sometimes questions like this, and this is because you didn't know. I'm going to assume you didn't know. But you know what they say when you make an assumption. So, but I'm going to just assume you didn't know that was a couple options for you. But your girl going to drive 4 hours. If I live 2 hours from the Secretary of State, bring it, and somebody going to pay me $400 or $500. Most people work all week to make $500. Some people don't even make $500 in a week. So, yeah, I'm going to drive it. And that's why you got to know your business, know your craft, know what you can do, what you can't do. Okay? And everything I'm talking about, again, may not be for you. And you may say, well, I don't care how much they paying. I ain't doing it. So put some 1s if you're willing to drive 4 hours round trip for $500. 0 if you're not. Let me know. So I gave you a couple of suggestions, though. You can still facilitate apostilles. Every single notary can do an apostille if you know what to do. You can either be the courier, the facilitator, or the agent. Okay? there's no reason everybody shouldn't be doing apostilles. There's zero reason. And my course is not $500. I think it's $77 with the coupon, okay? So check it out. Coupon code is WIN2025. Or it's a part of mentorship. I'll talk about that. I want to get these last few questions. I'm going to tell you about mentorship. So I went, as says, I want to offer courier services for apostille here in New York. How do I start offering that service? Do you have a website? Do you have a Google page? That's how you start right there. People are going to find you. They're going to come to your Google page. And they're going to put in apostille. And they're going to be looking for notaries that can facilitate an apostille or curry for an apostille. Annie's saying, okay. All right. Yes, Pamela's telling you that too. Thank you, Pamela. You team up with somebody. Pamela's in the mentorship. Get it, girl. Mentorship is worth its weight in gold, people. It really is. Let me tell you about mentorship, and I'm going to get the rest of these comments here. So mentorship is all inclusive of all 16 courses that we have, okay? Literally every single course from Notarize Like a Pro, where you will be confident and know how to properly notarize your documents. That is the foundation. Okay, that is the foundation. Estate/trust packages. You will learn how to facilitate the documents when you're going into a hospital, a nursing home setting, okay? End of life, how to handle all of that. There is a specialty general notary course. There is ink fingerprinting, proctoring, okay? Proctoring doesn't have a whole course, but there's a section on it within the specialty. Field inspections, remote online notary, wedding officiant. Every single thing you need to start and grow your business is there in the mentorship. In addition to the courses, there are over 50 replays from our weekly sessions. You can go back and be a fly on the wall and drop, and gems are dropped in every single session. No two sessions are alike. They're not. Because it's always something new in this notary space. You got people in mentorship from across the nation, okay? Texas, Nevada, Illinois, Georgia, Florida, California. We got people from everywhere, East Coast, West Coast. So we're open on the chat line, which you're also able to participate in. If you have an assignment and you get stuck, you just let us know. We got you. Okay, we just helped somebody earlier with a little situation. If I get time, I'll tell you about that one. But that's open basically from 9 in the morning to 11 at night. But whoever gets up, we answer it whenever we first start getting up. So usually it's about 7. But it's definitely open till around 11 because I have people on the West Coast, Pacific time. They need help with documents sometimes. So we keep it open. I run the chat myself. Lisa J that's on here. Lori W about to be on the team probably. She's always in the chat. But everybody's helping each other out. I am trying to expand seriously though, but Lori W is always helping out too. So I'm expanding from within the group. So Lisa J is in our group and she has been helping out answer the chat. Alexis Franklin is our other trainer. Jeffrey Nunnally is my husband. He focuses more on the technical side of things, like with your printer, if you get stuck with that, your scanner, resizing of documents. Jeffrey does all the technical part. Okay, so we each have our own role, but we definitely are growing. And again, I'm growing from within, and that's been a good feeling to be able to grow with our team. So yeah. So I'm definitely seeing how I could utilize the people that's in the training, because I like to give work to people who have trained with me. And again, I'm not trying to make you take my training thinking that you're going to be working with notary educators. That's not the point. But the reason I say that is because I know you know what you're doing. You've been trained properly. I don't even just give my work to anybody. I say that all the time. People don't believe me. I don't just call any notary unless I need them as a witness. But I'm not just calling anybody and say, that's why I don't have a signing company. I cannot. That's why I don't have a signing company. I'm not just calling anybody and say, hey, can you go do this loan signing for me? I cannot. I got OCD. Not technically, but I just know if I give you my stuff and it ain't right, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. So I cannot. And I can't train you to go do a 200-page document. And my client is mad. Their client is mad. Because usually it's 3 people involved. It ain't usually just you and the notary with a signing company. You got 3 or 4 people waiting on documents to be signed. If it's not done correctly. I just told a story in the group And I'm going to share here on another live because I need to tell y'all the whole thing. But I was the third notary sent out. I tell you that all the time. It's facts. It happened to somebody in our group. So I see a lot of ones in here. The question I asked earlier, are you willing to drive 4 hours for $500 to do an apostille if your Secretary of State is 2 hours away from you? Are you willing to drive 4 hours round trip to make $500? Yeah. And most people was like, heck yeah. Now, J Rose 8425 says, y'all girl might drive that too then. So I hope y'all drop in thumbs up out there for me. But you see how we just changed your life, J Rose? That was just one sentence, one conversation. Okay? 30 seconds, I just changed your life. Literally. Literally. This is what we do at Notary Educators. This is what we educate. Okay? This is what we do. So your life just got changed. You didn't think about it that way. You need to be in the room where it's happening, with the right room, okay? The right room. And Notary Educators is a safe space for you to learn how to be a good notary, a great notary, and then you can do all these different services. You got to have a foundation. There's no workaround. Ain't nobody going to just cut your head open and drop all that knowledge. It's impossible. We have 16 different courses. 16. Okay? 16. And you need every single one of the replays. Every single one of them. I got a whole one on how to certify a copy. We got a whole one on how to do identification. The identification one is the funniest one to me yet. I thought we were going to spend 10 or 15 minutes talking about identification. Nope. It was an hour and a half. It was an hour and a half. It was a good conversation. So you got access to all the replays too. Yeah. So we just changed your life. You're welcome. You're welcome. My sister trying to call me. Ani says the pay was nice. Yep. Cricket is thinking about it. Yeah, I bet you're thinking about it, right? Paula L says, I'm probably going to draw that. Yes. Ani said, tell them, Miss Kimmi. Yes. I got to teach y'all what to do over here. I have a Google page. So on your Google page, that's where you're going to put that you offer those courier services, right? Okay. Make sure that Google page is tight. Ani says, when I started out 2 years ago, I was scared. Miss Kimmi, I will teach you what you need to know. Yep. Miss Kimmi will teach you what you need to know. Yep, because Ani's been rocking with us for a minute. Yep. I don't know. Have you actually ever taken a class, Ani? I can't remember. Lori says, glad to help. Yeah, we're watching. We're watching. You guys are doing amazing, though, for real. I'm so proud of all of y'all. I really am. I really am. Lori, while I got you here, though, do you do, like, for real, emails, like, graphics and stuff like that? I'm just curious. Can you let me know if you do that? I have someone actually on Fiverr. I'm really getting good at using Fiverr people. Ani says several. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, Ani. Cool. Okay. I couldn't remember, Ani, what you... I know you've been with us for years. And I'm so proud of you, too. I really am. I really am. But I've been working with Fiverr, and I've been hiring people over there. And it's really good, guys, if you need somebody to help you with your Canva and stuff like that. But sometimes we have a little language barrier for what I'm actually looking for. So, and I don't need that much. I do need a little administrative help now, though. I really do. And I got, like I said, a couple of people I work with on Fiverr. Oh, you're welcome, Ani. Yeah, so anyway, we'll have another conversation. I'll be seeing you around and stuff. But any other questions I can help you all with before I head out? I see we have a lot of new people that just joined us. Please, if you have any questions, I would love to answer them for you. If you're new to the business, let me know. I think I talked about the mentorship program. Self-paced courses are still available. You can get those at your leisure. I do communications and process program management. Okay. So I know you're good with the communications part. I just don't know if it would be worth your time. But I'll be in touch. So yeah. Thank you for that, Laura. I appreciate it. You got me thinking though. So anyway, like I was saying, so you can do self-paced courses a la carte. 60% off. Coupon code WIN2025. I just ate some Chipotle before I went live. I think I ate too fast, one. And some of those seasonings sometimes don't agree with me, but it was tasty, and we were so hungry. We waited to eat late today. I don't know why so late. So anyway, what else do we have going on? Anything else? So you got the self-paced courses online. So any part of your notary training, though, we would love to be a part of it. We would love to help you to gain confidence, to be notarizing like a pro, apostilling like a pro, all things marketing. I have a marketing course because everybody likes talking about marketing, but ain't no marketing if you don't know how to stamp that paper. Okay? You heard it here first. You gotta know how to stamp that paper. You have to know how to stamp the paper. You have to. Then from there, we can make it look pretty and put a bow on it. I got you. So we got marketing, a marketing course, full-blown marketing course, pricing course, everything you need literally to do your business, okay? Let me get this last question, and then I'm going to head out of here. Cricket says, I am new, and I have many questions about getting started, but I just jumped on. Is there a replay of this stream? And will there be another live where I can ask questions or some other way? Yeah, I always go live. I do. I highly recommend, though, to get started. 99% of your questions will be answered in a book that I wrote called Start Your Notary Business in Whatever State You're in. So if you're in Alabama, there's a book for you. If you're in Georgia, there's a book for you. California. So I would say start there. And if your questions aren't asked, you can shoot me an email. But 90% of your questions will be answered in that book. How to Start Your Notary Business in Your State. Okay? Shay Bay, what's up? Good evening. How are you? I always love her name, Shay Bay. How are you? Cricket says, I can get my answers question. Oh, yeah, I understood you. Yeah. So check out the book. Check out the YouTube channel. Guys, we got like 25 people here right now. So y'all know I don't like to leave when we got a lot of people. So tell me if you have any questions. NotaryEducatorsLLC.com, where you can find the book. Yep, for every state. And I guarantee you 90% of your questions will be answered, if not 100. It's very few people that read it and say, I don't understand. Because y'all know that's not how I teach. Everything is simple. It's broken down. You won't have to ever wonder, what does Kimmi mean by that? I'm always pretty clear. Any other questions? If not, I am going to get out of here because I do have another appointment probably around 6 o'clock. All right, guys. Well, that is it. I will definitely be in touch. Again, I'm Kimmi on behalf of Notary Educators, where we teach you to do everything like a pro. Like a pro. You got this, okay? We wish you much success in your business. All right, guys. We got one more question. Hold on. Let me get Cricket. I've been hearing a lot about apostilles, but I do not have a vehicle, so I'm considering Ron. You can still do apostilles without a vehicle. You can still do apostilles. You don't have to be the courier. And like you said, you just came in late on this. Go back and watch the beginning part of this because we already talked about that. You don't have to be the courier. You can be the apostille agent, make all that money that we're talking about, but you're going to either mail it to the Secretary of State or you're going to get you a notary buddy in your area to help you to get it driven there. It needs to be driven, okay? A lot of times it does not need to be driven. Your clients have a turnaround time. That's why it's one of your screening questions I teach you to ask. Do they need it back today or do they need it back in a week? Do they need it in 2 months? Or do they need it like yesterday? So you got to ask your screening questions. I talk about that in everywhere. Okay, I'm pretty much an open book. I'm not a gatekeeper. I tell you everything. So there are ways for you to make money, even if you, and matter of fact, that's an excellent way for someone that doesn't drive to make money. You're welcome, Pamela, is doing apostilles. Because again, you don't have to drive it there. You can hire somebody to take it for you. You can even get you a friend to be your driver. I got a friend. I'm going to tell y'all this. I know I said I was getting ready to go, but I'm going to tell y'all this. I am leaving. But I have a friend, and a friend of mine asked him, she had him take her to the airport. He works for Uber. So come to find out, he does it on the side, like his own little Uber thing. So I told her I had to get to the airport. So she gave me his number. This was some months ago. And found out that he offers services. He'll pick you up, take you to the airport, or he's picked up some of my other friends and taken them to the doctor. Whatever you need, he got his own little transportation service, right? So one day I asked him, I was running out of witnesses, because for those of you who don't know, short version, I lost quite a bit of my family between 2019 and 2022. And they were my witnesses, okay? My mother, my father wasn't my witness. I lost him before I really got into my business. But my father-in-law, okay? So they were my witnesses all the time. So when I lost them, of course it was devastating on so many levels. So that's another story for another day. But it was hard to find witnesses. So I thought about him. I said, well, he's out running around. Maybe I can get him to be my witness. Sure enough, he was like, sure, I'll be your witness. So he has served as a witness for me. He served as a witness for other people that I know. I refer him all the time. So he got another little stream of income. And if I needed him to, and I've almost hired him to take down the apostille for me. Now, I live 35 minutes from the apostille office. So I typically will do my own. But this particular day, I had a lot going on. So I was going to ask him to take it down there for me, right? Because I have everything ready. All he has to do is take it in. So you can hire somebody, get them on your team. That's another stream of income for them. So it's just one big circle. You just got to know what to do. That's why I keep saying you got to know what to do, how to get it. You got to know. Okay? Shebe says, but you have to know how to notarize first, right, Kimmi? Yes, Shebe. I say that now. You're going to hear a lot of people, and I even say it too. You don't have to be a notary to be an apostille agent. You don't, but you do need to know how to have those documents properly notarized. And that's why I encourage you to be a notary first, okay? You have to know how to be, and you don't have to be a notary, but you got to know how to do notarizations. I would recommend it, because if you take it down to the apostille office that's not notarized properly, you got a problem. Okay, you heard it here first. So you don't have to be a notary. But you do need to know proper notarization techniques and skills and stuff, okay? Cricket says, this is such great news. I am very close to our SOS office, so I can get there by bus if need be. Well, get out of here. Get it, girl. What's up? Where do you recommend I get started with your content to get going? If you want to do the YouTube channel, just start under the apostilles, but you need to be a great notary. So you need to check out Notarize Like a Pro, so you can properly know how to notarize documents. For all things, if you want to really get into this business and do it the right way from beginning to end, I would recommend mentorship. You got access to all 16 courses. You got access to us. You got access to the replay. So when you really get serious about your business, for anybody that's listening to me, when you really get serious about your business, our mentorship program is number one. You will not be disappointed. Okay? You won't. That's all I got. On behalf of Notary Educators with Kimmi, guys, again, do all things like a pro. Do it like a pro. You will not go wrong. Until later, I'm going to wish you much success, okay? Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Notary Educators with Kimmi podcast. We hope you found today's episode helpful and inspiring as you build your notary business. Don't forget to explore our all-inclusive $47 monthly training notary library for more resources to expand your skills and services. Stay connected with us on YouTube at Notary Educators with Kimmi for even more tips, tricks, and industry insights. Be sure to subscribe and share this podcast with others who want to succeed in the notary field. Until next time, keep growing and learning, and take your notary business to the next level. See you soon! Don't forget, for all things notary related, visit notaryeducatorsllc.com.